like big part of the reason why I even started this reaction channel in the first place is because all the shit I'm doing here, even if it doesn't take me quite as long, this is just how I watch shows. This is just a picture of what's wrong with me. I watch shows and I do I don't sit down and I don't sit down and verbalize it to an audience every time. But when I watch shows, these are the thought processes that go through my head, right? This is how I engage with media. And so the criticisms and the praise and stuff that I frame is not really I am in the unique position that occasionally creators of shows that I react to have seen my reactions, which is gratifying. Or the animators, like a few. I know that some of the animators on Has Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss watch my reactions, which is cool. And Dana Terrace apparently saw my Knights of Guinevere reaction, but that's not why I do it. I am not here to pontificate to the creators of the show how they should make their show. Not interested in that. If they want my advice, they can ask me for it, right? But that's not the point of this. The point of this is not to frame a criticism or make a list of demands that Liam Vickers has to assess to. In order for me to like the show, you have to change it to my... no. That's not how it works. I do this because this is how I process media. And this is how I enjoy media, right? Because as I've made it very clear already, I don't think I would be watching Murder Drones that much of my own accord, right? It's not a show that speaks to me in the way that I would watch it casually, but watching it as an exercise in critical thinking, as an exercise in observing the changes and the ways in which the show evolves and thinking about the reasons why I don't think it works. That's the kind of shit I'll do for fun, right? I wouldn't just watch it to sit down and just be entertained by it, but to sit down and watch it to go through this process and practice these, my ability for criticism and my ability to take lessons and learn something from the show I'm watching, that's, that I can do, and that I enjoy, right? And that's a way in which, that is a useful skill also. If you ever study things, if you're ever going to studying things like literature, like movies, any form of media, the ability to have, to be able to do this, it's something you can practice, where you turn off the part of your brain that's looking for entertainment, that's looking to be wowed, that's looking to be swept away or enter a flow state, and instead you turn on the part of your brain that's I'm going to dissect this like a corpse in a morgue, right? I am going to take this shit apart, I'm going to pin little bits and pieces of it to a board, and I'm going to take notes, and I'm going to have a great time. That's a skill that is very useful if you want to study literature, for example. The ability to put away whether or not you yourself are interested in it, whether you care about it, whether it's this stuff that you're fascinated or entertained by, and turn on the part of your brain that goes, I want to figure out what makes this thing tick. Why does it work? Why does it not work? Why am I having the reaction that I'm having where I'm disengaging from it? What's missing? What needs to be there in order for me to engage? And is the thing that I need in order to engage, is that something different than the audience of the thing needs, right? Because that's the thing, tons of people engage with Murder Drones much more intensely than I do. And for me, there's an interest in thinking about, okay, it doesn't work for me. Why does it work for them, right? What is it in here that is speaking to someone else, that's grabbing someone else's attention, right? What part of the human experience is being served here? That's what interests me. So this is just kind of how I watch shows, especially on the occasion that something gets very popular and I don't like it. This is also the kind of way that I would go about trying to watch it. I read Twilight that way back in the day because I saw I was alive for the when Twilight was a huge cultural force and everyone was shitting on it, right? It was a fait accompli in culture that if you are a man, then you hate Twilight for the same reason that you hate Titanic, for the same reason that you hate, because it's something that women like, and therefore it is bad, right? That's for a very long time that has sort of been status quo in culture. If women like, then bad, then shallow, then stupid, then for dumbasses and morons. Whereas Transformers and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is for boys, well, that's much deeper than you think, actually. That's actually really deep, and there's really deep messages in it, and it's actually not just for children. But I read Twilight back then because I absorbed all of the cultural sort of fucking hate mob that formed against that book. And then I read it and I was like, oh, that's actually perfectly entertaining, decent commercial fiction, and it's not really half as bad as anyone says that it is. Like, it's not great, but it's very readable. Like the thing I'll say for Stephanie Meyer as an author is like, she's readable. You read through that shit easy. Like it has a good flow state, right? Even if you don't really care for what the story is saying, even if you can't help but notice how fucking Mormon it is, it's like, it's not nearly, like, it's not good, but it's not a tenth as bad as people say. And having the ability to turn off the part of your brain that's looking for, is this serving me? Is this servicing me? Is this giving me something that I want? And turn on the part of you that goes, okay, why do other people fixate on this? Why are other people curious about this? That can be very, like, that can be educational. That can be fun in its own way, to read something that you yourself find apps, like, not that you wouldn't give it the time of day if you didn't have to, but to be able to turn it into a fun exercise like that. Anyway. Oh, hey, we're back in... I guess we're going to Yarnum. It's Bloodborne now. It's a Bloodborne adaptation. That was the secret. That was the secret of the lore the whole time. Is it was actually, like, the universal solver is actually the beast plague. Fucking Tessa landing next to Uzi. Beasts all over the shop. You'll be one of them soon enough. Aw, cute. Cabin fever again, huh? No, but seriously, who the fuck built a Gothic cathedral? Of all the things you could build on the space colony out in space, this? Why would you do that? Why would you build? Why would you build it like that?
I am holding strong, sir.
Peer-reviewed evidence warning.
Nah.
Oh, hey, look. It's the logo. Hey, Nori.
Dr. Chambers!
Oh, no. I'm not... Is this guy important?
Ooh, clever use of shadows. Neat. Again, like, the visual artistry of the show does keep leveling up. Again, like, it's that thing of, like, I'm thinking about the premise too much. Like, why is there a Gothic church here? Why does that Gothic church look like this? Why are there spikes everywhere? Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's a horror trope. But it is that rule of cool. Like, we're essentially sort of doing a Warhammer 40k thing here almost. This is almost Adeptus Mechanicus shit with all the candles everywhere and, like, the science pope down here.
Dr. Chambers!
Oh, no. I'm not... Is this guy important?
Again, some flashing light warnings here. Like, the use of shadows here is very clever. I quite like that. Like, it's the poor scientists just gaining insight points slowly over the course of the scene until they gain enough that it can actually see it. I quite like the gravity magnet effect, whatever it is that they're doing here. Presumably magnets, if the last episode is anything to go by. Like, the way that she crashes down. You see the suddenness and the weight of that? That's well animated to convey that invisible attraction effect. Like, the suddenness of it, right? Like, she just goes from standing to on her knees, like, in very few frames, and then Family Guy death pose. Oops, crossed the insight threshold. And we're back to the very biological rendition of the solver. Crab legs and arthropod bits. Again, good use of color composition here. The bright green of the monitors, right, against the sort of candlelight. You have the bright blue, like...
Chambers! 148!
Right, so... Is a doctor-specific thing? Because I'm on it!
Waving. We're very much doing 40K shit here. I guess it's a USB drive sheet, like a crucifix. Honestly. Again, these rule of cool flourishes, right? Like, with the character pulling this thing out of their hat, and it gotta spin it, and it's gotta glow. We've gotta have lots of glowing on it. For the drama, for the cool. How does one become an intern at the Horror Science Church? She's playing She's playing Tetris! Oh my fucking god. And it's... Okay, so... For those who don't know the history of Tetris, Tetris was developed by a Russian programmer named Alexei Pajitnov, working under a Soviet Union, like, official government computer lab, where he was tasked with developing various kinds of software. He developed Tetris on his off time, and it looked more or less like this in its original incarnation when it was played on these very simple 8-bit machines. So it's a very specific, it's a very, like, she's Russian, she's playing Tetris. That's an old Russian folk tune called Korobineki, something like that. Something like that. But it's an old Russian folk tune, like Tetris Theme A. I will say it is not quite the original version of Tetris because I don't believe the original version had piece prediction for which piece is going to come down next. That was added in later versions. So it's not entirely authentic, but graphically it is. Oh, hey, that's probably fine. How strong is the wind down there? I'm sorry, hang on. Are those chains or are they paper towels? How strong? How is this guy? This guy is doing strength feats. Like, you wouldn't. He's running against that? A wind that's strong enough to make solid fucking metal chains just like wave This dude has been going to the gym. This dude has been fucking hitting the wind is not even touching him. This man's solid as a rock. This guy could punch through concrete. This guy has a 12-pack. How the fuck is the wind making the chains wave like that?
Chambers, get over here.
Well, I mean, that's one way to get the USBs. Like, because I know the difficulty, right? Like, you have a USB drive, you try and plug it in, it's an A, and you flip it over and it doesn't go in, and flip it over and it doesn't go in, and then you flip it over a third time and somehow it goes in there. Like, sometimes you just want to, you just fucking want to, like, just fucking get in there. I need to put a fucking JPEG of a frog on you or something.
Yep. So I couldn't find 48.
Whatever.
Right. You're right.
So are they signaling it visually yet? Yeah, I mean, the blood, I guess. Brave fellow, that intern. Because I'm looking for the aberration. Because, like, obviously this is a trap, right? I'm looking to see if they're doing the chromatic aberrations yet. Because he's clearly noticing it. Right, we have the blood on the floor. Yeah, they're not doing the aberrations yet. I don't think they start until here. I wonder also about the way that the characters are moving in the scene. Because there are instances of the character, like this guy here, for example. You see how his walk cycle doesn't really quite make sense? And, like, it's exactly copied. They're doing exactly the same walk cycle. They're clipping through each other. Yeah, clearly. Okay, that is intentional. I was wondering about that, because, like, sometimes you just have a walk cycle and you copy-paste it across multiple characters to save time, but that does feel like it's intentional. Okay, I like that shot a lot. Like, dropping all of the sound out and then having the shot. Again, very good use of light and composition to paint the horror of it. I really, really like the edge lighting on the intern's helmet. And along the pew here, and then, like, we get Science Pope just lit a little bit. That's very effective. This is a nice screenshot. I like the fucking edge lighting here is masterfully used. That's genuinely a masterful use of edge lighting to highlight a scene. That's really good. Whoop. Whoop, 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 whoop. There. No, not gonna make the joke. Not gonna make the joke. The joke tells itself. You know what the joke is. You know what the joke is. I'm not saying anything. Very centipede. Again, very Bloodborne with the centipedes.
Thanks for the new host, intern. MacGuffin.
Man, that's one way to get plugged in. Nice effects animation on, like, the throw, and then we have, like, the fucking classic anime wind blast effects over top of it. I do feel like the show relies a little bit too much on the sheen. Like this, right? Like the lens flare glow as a way to communicate, like to draw the eye and tell you where to look. It does do that a little bit too often sometimes. It loses impact after a while. But here it works very, very well. Because it's communicating the transition, right? And communicating the suddenness of the movement. It's effectively used there to lead the eye. Sometimes it's used too much in other places. That's cute. That's very cute. With the headphones, with the little cat ears on them. Is that a fucking iPod? It is. Little anime drawing. Oh, and an anime figurine, even. Just, yeah, like, going full girl failure mode here. Cool S spotted. I quite like that little gesture. Right, the little crack. Oh, someone's having fun with this thing. Hi ho, it's off to work we go. Oh, look! Elevator.
understood. I'm sorry, Ann.
Oh, no, it's okay, Uzi. I am so sorry.
Enough, N. We'll save V after we finish here.
Oh hey,
Uzi,
reflections
let's
again.
have you sit this one out, eh? Box over there. Robots like foxes, right?
What? No,
N.
Uzi, there, might be some stuff down here that you don't want to see.
Oh, what the hell is going on?
Nothing! We don't know everything yet, but...
Again, effective use of the reflection. I like that.
we're not gonna hurt you, okay?
Hurt me?
Ah, separated by physics. Very, very physics simulation rocks. The way they collapse. Like, it lacks a little bit of weight, I'd say. But it gets the point across. And I do like, again, the reflection thing, right? That as he's looking at Tessa and seeing himself reflected back, when he says, we're not going to hurt you, he's not talking to Uzi, he's talking to Tessa, right? Like, he's saying, absolutely not, we're not going to hurt her. He's trying to draw a boundary. And Uzi, like, begins to understand, oh, so that was an option then. That was something you had to argue about? And another effective little gesture, like the step forward, the step back, right? Like this constant push and pull of intimacy and rejection between the two of them. Again, something that really could have been the heart of a compelling dynamic to me if it had been more the focus of the show, rather than these little side things that happen.
And you won't tell me why we're wandering around, 'cause...
I'm a good friend, and secrets are blackmail. And it's not about football.
Okay. Does your secret friend want to know about football, or...?
I kind of forgot that they were in the show. Not gonna lie. I kind of forgot that they existed. Oh, well. That's probably fine.
So is that related to the thing you're looking for?
No. yeah, no it is.
Okay, I guess they're here.
Uzi! Uzi! I deserve this, I deserve this, I deserve this!
Oh, hello. That's probably fine. Okay, good smash cut. I like that smash cut. Good detail also. The little shadow, you can see the tendrils. Recognize the shape of them. Cute little headband. And then, yeah, there it is. Ooh. I do like the design of the solver. Like this centipede motherfucking thing. It's a cool horror monster. Good smash cut. Overtime is optional. Unrelated, the singularity is actively consuming everything you hold dear. Indeed. Lab space. Something get the surface than the irony of the church thing. It's what was available. We don't know what it is. It was literally, it's just down. Okay, there's the explanation for the church. It's like, yeah, the church is, I don't know. It was just down here, I guess. Don't all times. Okay, just jokey rambling, I guess. Don't all die and almost let it out again. We're pretty mad, but most of you scared about that. That's probably fine. Yeah, go towards the light. Don't you have a flashlight in your tail? Okay.
I missed you, Em.
Thank you, Mind Chef. Trauma goes from here you find to there.
You know, you're one of the main reasons I wanted your team to retain your personalities. You always surprised me.
Well, there goes the arm.
Anything.
Trauma flashback. Cannibalism. Oi. Well. Again, the imagery is striking. And I like the puppeteering. I like the got no strings on me Pinocchio shambling. Lovely S-curves here. Because it's the difference between just having it strike out straight from the shadows and giving it this, like, zhzh.
Loved doing anything.
Hug. Nice to cut on a hug as well. But the imagery here, like the fucking... That's wallpaper worthy, right? Like that with the single accretion disc glow. Over this, like, wedge in the sky. That's very well done. Like a Christmas cracker. You can see that gravitational rotation in the sky as well. Very good imagery, this.
Thanks for clearing the way on this planet, too. Let's eat.
Good, again, very good use of color. This mostly teal, greenish landscape and this single point of yellow light. I guess that makes sense for the lantern as a prop, right? That it's being used here to create this striking image. Again, compliments on the composition. That light shaft from the door opening, very, very good. Not making the joke. Not making the joke. Not making the joke. Nightcore mix, yeah. Oh. Oh, that's good. The fucking human-ass hands, that's very good. Now, what it all is adding up to, I'm not sure, but...
Why sin after her own murder pet? You stupid or something?
Oh, yeah.
Well, by me then. Try.
Okay, I guess we're doing this.
Hey, you look familiar. Watch the road. You got wings.
I guess.
Focus. Left. Think you could get this across to the surface? I'm looking for a hunk named Kong.
Uzi's dad? What?
Another good bit of imagery. That suddenness against the light there in the background. Very good. That's very cool. Anyway, I guess hello, Uzi's mom.
How do you know my daughter?
I kind of figured, but...
So, how do we... Can't her hands be guns?
Kick also.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, there has to be a limit to how stupid you are.
Part 2A. Check the perimeter.
Mr. Doorman? Sir?
Ah, fuck! God damn it! Click the hotkey. Nyeh.
Check the perimeter.
Mr. Doorman?
Uzi's sick as fuck railgun that's cool and doesn't suck. 30-minute recharge time. That'll be fine.
Sir?
Bad crowd, those murder drones. Destroying ways off the planet. My wife. My daughter having interests beyond cannibalism and nightcore. It's the end times. If my wife's closet is right, the planet's gonna try to eat us soon.
I guess he decided to become competent. Ooh. Nicely rendered hand, that. Look at the skin texture. Someone spent some time on that. Hang on. I want to see... Recapture. Being a fingerprint. Ah, yes, fingerprints, the one technology they cannot mimic. I know cool guys don't look at explosions, but it really should have more urgency about not being in the blast zone.
Not sure what you mean.
Избавиться от вычислителя. Где он?
So that's what they were doing down here, huh? Crucifix-looking thing.
Так ты не знаешь.
Had my suspicions, but they kept cutting my feed. Had to save yourself, huh?
Я не позволю вычислителю использовать меня и поглотить планету.
Not sure it needs you, buddy.
Ooh, good use of the effects again. The little outlines. That's quite cool.
Thanks for the new host, intern. MacGuffin. Ow.
What?
In the silence.
Ah, well. They probably won't need that again. Whoa!
Planet kinda half imploded anyway. Humans all.
Hello, how did you do that? Okay, Saturn is not supposed to be that close to Earth. Ooh, someone went ham. With a material simulation for that one. Oh, that's pretty. I like the layered thing where the atmosphere is being pushed back as the planet's surface is being drawn in. That's very cool.
Planet kinda half imploded anyway. Humans all. Woke up on the surface, brain scrambled enough to have a kid, and the rest is. Dumb, stupid history. Stop that. Now the Solver's found its way back to finish the job. Who's its host?
Like, Uzi? And a red-eyed...
Yeah, this kid, I know, dummy. Which one was just trying to eat us?
replenishing those candles, by the way. Like, those are some long-ass fucking lasting candles. Oh, is that doll? Well, it was anyway.
Yikes. Someone's been busy.
Just hurry, stupid.
Of course! Lucy's gonna freak out when I tell her!
Tell her I'm alive, you die.
Sorry, ma'am. I won't keep secrets from Uzi anymore. Even if you say it might hurt her.
Nuance alert, ma'am. I caused every horror in her life. Destroyed the planet, got you things sick here.
Gave her ungodly ostrich genetics.
No time. Promise.
I promise. To wait until you're ready to tell her yourself?
Ugh. Bite me.
Hey, that's where she got it from. Lovely secondary motion on the heart there. I really, like, they're doing a very good job with the heart's animation. Again, it's that question of, like, how do you create personality in something which is functionally inanimate? And, like, the little cylinder bits there being used as extensions, essentially, of her eyebrow and mouth movement. And then just the floppiness, the secondary motion on the fleshy bits. Ugh.
Tessa, I didn't. She just. Wait! Something else did this to doll. You have to believe.
No worries. Makes my job easier. Thought there'd be more of you silver freaks anyway.
You knew about the patch, yes or no? One chance.
Cute. You know why I keep you around here?
Well, okay.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, that should help. All I know is I need you.
You shouldn't have given it
Figure
to
things
her.
out. Together?
Because we all know what's going to happen. Like, once she shows her... yeah, no surprises there.
That's really sweet, big brother. Too bad you've served your purpose. Don't worry, your backups will forgive me. Nori, you're dead.
You're frickin' grounded.
Angry.
Cute. Okay, let's get into the fucking fight scenes here. Ooh, good anime swipe. And I like the stumble here as well. The weight management of the body going slack as it tries to stay upright, like that little twist in the ankle and then down. And we never get to see the face. And I will say, like, and maybe the first clue should have been when she pulled the sword out of her own chest with one hand. Like, I don't know. Maybe think about that for a second before you hand over, like, what's been set up as the only thing that can stop her. And I do like the transition from purple to yellow, right? To indicate the swap. Bullet time. Gadoosh. Yes, the superpowers of the planet-destroying megavirus is no match for the power of the humble pickaxe.
Nori.
Getting absolutely destroyed by Minecraft logic.
You're dead.
You're frickin' grounded.
Angry.
Yeah, I'm not much a fan of a motion blur, but I do kind of dig the aesthetic of this, like, doubling that they're doing here. Like, I do think that helps the suddenness, like this snap, right? Where it snaps from this slow unfolding to 1, 2, 3, 4 frames, right? I think that's effective. Like, this doubling blur does a lot to really emphasize that speed. And good use of these anime-style beam clash effects as well to help communicate the action of what's happening. Stop hesitating! Oh, well. Ooh. Oh, yeah, we're fully on some Dragon Ball shit now. Again, doing the... like, the horizontal flash lines into... yeah. Ow. And we're imitating the motion aesthetic as well. We've talked about this before, right? Like, the motion aesthetic of anime has a tendency to be these snappy slant motions, right? Where you go from stillness to a buildup of tension to a snap. And then we reach another tension point where we're building tension, and then snap. And it's imitating that very effectively. It's also very fucking anime staging. Like this low, wide angle, really emphasizing the key pose, like spreading out throughout the whole. Very, very, very much in the tradition of anime. Same thing here. Right? We go from a moment of relative still. I know he's flying through the air, but a moment of relative stillness to snap, tension, and then release of tension, right? Like, he snaps into the wall, boof. And then we get this buildup of tension as he's just kind of hovering there and he falls down. You'll see this in a million action anime, right? Tension. Snap. Tension. Snap. It's very cute. It's like very, have at thee, sir! And then, Garush. more anime shockwaves. Oh, that's a good move. Yeah, well, I gotta say, production fucking leveled up on this one substantially from previous episodes. One thing I'm struck by in this action scene is there's so much more motion clarity. Like, one thing I think action scenes suffer from in the show in general a lot of the time is a lot of cool shit is happening, but a lot of the action is not very readable. Because it all just kind of fucking happens very fast, and the camera doesn't take a lot of time to do the beat-by-beat storytelling. They're taking the time to do that here. Like, that's one of the reasons why cool shonen anime power battles have a tendency to be so high impact and cool, is that you have these moments, right? Like, you have this, like, a thing happens, and we linger on it so you really communicate the exact shape of what's happening. Which is something I feel like a bunch of the fight scenes previously have kind of been missing. This feels like it's taking its time more often. Like, to create space between beats. And give them room to land. Also, cool visual effect. As they're generating the black hole. Like, the lightning sort of spiraling into... That's a very complete visual aesthetic for that power set. Same thing here. Like, the camera takes time to have there's this moment of stillness, right? And then we spawn the projectiles, and then they dash into frame. And then we still hold here for a second to give some time for that to register before we get into, like, a bit of rapid action, and then we take some time again. And I like that gesture here. The dance, essentially. They essentially do a little twirl as though they're waltzing. And there's a moment when it's about to be a handhold, and then Mom says no. Ow. There's another good one. Moment of tension. Tension build up, slowness, 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 and then snap. With more good effects. It feels like the motion blur is being used a little bit more sparingly in a lot of places as well, because there is this accommodation for stillness.
Nori! I should mention Uzi and I!
Hang out? We just kind of... Are we hanging out? A lot? I don't know.
Uzi Dorman. Those things killed your frickin' mother!
By the power of being grounded. Again, we're returning to the comedy beats here, but damn if we're not doing it with some pretty effects animation. And again, the little touches in the character animation here are pretty good as well. See the way Uzi's hands react to the heart. Right? When she begins to turn, you can see the fingers sliding, displacing smoothly over the volume in like a very, again, I wonder how much of that is physics simulation versus how much of that is manual animation, because it's really good.
Killed your frickin' and then
Yeah, still doing the handheld cam, which I still feel is pointless in some spaces of it. But the framing and aesthetic of how they're shooting the fight scene here is a lot better.
Ow! I'm not. Hey, lady, you don't frickin' own me!
Uzi!
What? We did not discuss being gross and.
That was your mom!
What?
Wait, no!
Hi, Tay-Tay. Ugh. You guys just roll the worst perception checks, I gotta say. Improper disposal is punishable by fines and... Oh, hey, Sin. I guess.
Oh, yes. Get snuck upon.
Ugh. Oh, it's bad enough with the robot bodies, but the sonic mouth on a human face like the fleshy thing? Oh, no. Oh, no. That's genuinely kind of disturbing.
Neck bite. Stab. It's been fun, and also, that's sarcasm. Honestly, I'm starving.
Ooh, someone's playing with the fucking effects animation. Yeah, that's definitely some physics simulation on that smoke effect.
Ride's good to go, boss. Just say... Who are you idiots?
They are also here is who they are. Like, we are characters who have decided to be part of the narrative. Hello, we're here, beloved, important characters whose names I definitely remember. Ooh, look at the fucking, again, those S-curves on that tentacle action. Don't clip that out of context, but, like, that's what makes it look good, is this attention to, like, the weirdness of it. Oh, hey! Is it a little hard? I guess it is. Planet.
Everything.
Uzi, don't you dare!
Die mad. Another very good composition here. Again, that attention to detail with the swoop and the curve of the tentacles moving in. Good composition. Bye-bye. Ooh, trippy. Another good composition, this. Like, very wallpaper worthy. Again, not to harp on about it. It is that thing of, like, the show is, at this point, trying to bring its threads together. Not in terms of lore. I'm not gonna pretend like it's all vibes. I'm not gonna pretend like I have sussed out even half of whatever theory crafting one might do about the exact progression of events, what anyone wants and why. Especially the Solver is, as a villain, not a particularly compelling... Like, it's mostly mysterious, right? Like, the Solver exists as a villain mostly in the sense of it is a malevolent force, it wants to eat everyone, question mark, question mark, question mark, right? Which, like, that's a classic type of horror monster, is like this implacable force that simply desires to consume. And it's... I don't know that that works very well with this attempt at the same time to make it a named character that has, like, relationships with other characters. And, like, has some kind of meaningful connection with them, because those aren't really compatible forms of horror as such. Like, the horror there would be, oh, here's this person, we used to know them. Like, it's the horror of The Thing, right? Here's this person, we used to know them, we used to have relationships, they used to mean something to us, and now they are colonized by this empty, consuming void of nothingness that will use every appearance. Like, it's very The Thing in that sense, right? Like, this thing of, like, there's this consuming horror that will put on the face of someone that you know, trust, care about, and use that as a cover, like, to continue this relentless solipsistic consumption. But in order for that to work, there has to be, like, a relationship that's, like, tangible and comprehensible. And they're just, like, there just isn't, again, because it's missing that connective tissue of spending time with the characters, allowing them to develop these relationships with each other, where you can then extract horror from the breaking of them. And I just don't feel that much of a connection is forged between Sin and the other robots from Earth in the initial, that the betrayal meaningfully manifests. Right, and Tessa as a character being simply this red herring to fake out is, again, this thing of, like, oh, okay, so how much was I supposed to care about Tessa in the episode about home, right? Like, how much was I supposed to invest into... Again, if more time had been spent with her, that's when it becomes kind of horrifying that all of what Tessa, like, the person that Tessa was consumed by this thing and worn as a skin suit. But because those relationships aren't really there to mine the tragedy from, it doesn't land nearly as much as it ought to. And then there's the usual, like, the little tone problems, right? Like, where we have this fight between the Solver and Nori and N, where it's clear, like, Nori and N sort of working together can go toe-to-toe with her, but not necessarily for that long. And then part of how they resolve it is with a comedy beat, right? Like, rather than taking the fight quite seriously, we resolve part of the fight with a comedy beat where all of a sudden N saying something silly provides the sort of cartoon space Looney Tunes power to Nori to smack Uzi hard enough across the head that she can reassert her personality. And now we're in comedy mode again, and it's sort of, again, it's that tone issues. The stakes are being undercut, right? I do like that she bites it again. That is very cute. I like that that's a consistent part of her, is she just bites things. I do also like the introduction here of this fucked up space situation where we have these little pebbles just kind of going plink. Someone's done a good job animating the zero gravity, like the inertia of it. The bounce back. That is wallpaper worthy. Again, just a good composition with like this staring lidless eye, essentially. And then everything, like all of these rocks sort of orbiting at it, and then you have this plane cutting through it with this asteroid belt in the middle of it. That's very effective. Huh, all silent. Definitely, like, the level up in the fight choreo is evident. It is tremendously evident.
Bite me.
Even if, like, again, this thing about characterization, right? Like, now Uzi cares about explaining herself. Now Uzi cares about, like, Doll, first of all. Like, oh, Doll is dead. And she's sort of panicking about being blamed for that. And she's scared of Tessa. And it's like, there are oddnesses to the characterization here that just...
Wait!
And it's the thing of, like, power scaling is generally not a very useful way to critique a show. But the place where it does have its uses is a certain consistency of what characters are capable of relative to one another is useful in any show where the fight is supposed to be taken seriously as an expression of the character's capabilities, right? That's where you would get the hype of a character overcoming their limits in like a moment of great emotion or whatever, is if you have a sense of consistency in what the characters are relatively speaking capable of doing. And that's another thing with the show, is that the scale of who has control, who has like a position of power or dominance in a given fight in Murder Drones is very rarely narratively determined and has a tendency to be determined on rule of cool, right? And that to me leads to a feeling, certainly, especially earlier in the season, less so here, but also occasionally. Like, we talked about this, like, with the comedy beat of her mom suddenly finding the strength to smack her down. Certainly early in the season, it does lead to that sense of, like, there's a sense of weightlessness in a lot of the combat encounters where damage doesn't really last. Like, being hurt doesn't really matter because everyone just recovers more or less instantly. And characters don't have, like, a consistent power set or a consistent set of capabilities. They have the capability to deal with whatever the episode needs them to deal with next. This is true of all fiction. Like, any shonen anime, like, the characters will pull powers out of their ass to deal with whatever the situation is at hand. That's normal. The difference is in the ways in which these changes or these capabilities are communicated to the audience. And that's something I think the show does struggle with sometimes, is communicating what is each character's relative capability, what's the power relationship between them that you're supposed to understand, where characters will be alternately capable of fighting and then completely rendered incapable by damage which they easily survived earlier, but now this level of damage is somehow disabling. It's a little bit all over the place, right? And again, that's something that, for me, creates a difficulty with investing in the emotional stakes of the fight, because it doesn't really feel like the outcome of any given conflict is determined by anything other than what is most dramatic in the moment. And at that point, like, that's another thing that can undermine the stakes of a conflict, because understanding how narrative works, you kind of go, well, okay, but the good guys are going to win, so if the only determinant of the consequences of a given combat encounter are, like, the rule of cool, and, like, the narrative needs a certain character to win, then it feels harder to get invested. It feels hard to get hype for it. It does help that the fights look so much fucking better, though.
Forgive me. Nori, you're dead.
You're frickin' grounded.
Angry.
I should disable Discord notification sounds. Like, the pacing and the general way that action shots are handled is genuinely on another level here. Like, I could definitely see some of that development happening in episode 6 in terms of how pacing of sudden action is handled, but this is genuinely a substantial level up. And it, like, again, this does have that webcomic feeling. Like, this has this webcomic rule of cool feeling. which I feel I've seen in like 1,000 webcomics that sort of really fixate on trying to replicate the feeling of a good shonen anime fight. Where the objective is more about replicating that vibe than necessarily replicating, like, the narrative stakes or beats or the narrative utility of a fight scene. There's a quote that goes around sometimes. I don't remember where it originates from. But essentially, I think it's a Hollywood quote from a producer or choreographer there that in order for a fight to be interesting, like not just cool looking, not just entertaining, but interesting, it has to be a dialogue, right? That a really good fight scene is a dialogue scene. It is characters communicating with each other, right? Through a medium of like attempted violence, right? Like that, it's not just about here's the characters doing some cool shit, but the characters are communicating meaning to each other, or they're expressing some part of their interiority, right? And the fight is essentially an extension of the idea of an argument between the characters. And that's often true, not always. It depends on the genre. That's often true. And I think if I were to express the thing that I do feel is missing is I'm missing from a lot of it that sense of dialogue, because the dialogue is there occasionally. Like, that's why I like this shot so much, right? That you have this N leading with his hand, Uzi has her hand up, they join hands, which is like, that's a symbol of their connection, is like this hand holding, right? And that we have this little dance and then an interruption. Like, that's dialogue. That is a narrative being told about, like, characters relating to each other. What is N's objective in this fight? Well, he wants to fucking hold her hand, right? That's good. And then there are elements of it that are just more, here's shit that happens because it looks cool. And striking a good balance between that is fucking hard. Like, most anime doesn't do it very well either, I should say. Like, seasonal isekai slop, like, doesn't do, like, is part of the reason why the fights and those things are also shit, is because they are also not dialogue. It's just, like, the only communication of meaning in a shitty isekai fight is, here is overpowered protagonist using his cool power to do cool shit. Blah. Right. That's why that shit feels so inconsequential and so weightless. And here it's like, sometimes the fight choreo is quite good at doing dialogue between characters, and then sometimes it's just, here's a bunch of cool shit that happened. Where, admittedly, the cool shit that happens is getting increasingly more and more cool. Like I said, the fucking dinosaur sword fight from the last episode is like, it's rule of cool shit. It is inconsequential and weightless, but it's a fucking dinosaur having a sword fight. It's cool. Like, I do want to see that, even if I don't agree with its narrative utility. I do want to see that. Like, more shows should have dinosaurs having sword fights, just because it's dinosaurs having sword fights, right? But okay. Still doesn't feel like I've watched a whole episode, I will say. Like, I guess 6, 7, and 8, very much one episode split in 3. So I guess we'll do that then.